Hi, my name is Zara. I currently take the IB. I'm in 12th grade and I've been at ACS for almost 5 years now. It's quite lovely because I think for me personally, one of the biggest things here is that the internationality of the school and coming from such an international background, moving around quite a bit, it's really easy to make friends with people here because they understand that as well. In terms of academics, I find that throughout the years that I've been at ACS, there's been ample support leading up to when in 11th grade you've got to make the decision between AP and IB. So they're really supportive with that choice as well, and your academics in the previous years kind of lead up to that point as well. I do the IB program, and that basically entails three different higher level subjects and standard level subjects that count towards like your university prerequisites. So it's really careful when you choose those. I've chosen HL Art, Business, and English, and then standard level French, Math, and Biology. I think for the IB, it's quite a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it gets you really prepared for university life in the amount of work that you have to do, the level of work that you have to do, and then it also gives you a really global perspective in my eyes, because of the different array of things that you have to do amongst the subjects that you take. So you've got TOK and CAS, which you have theory of knowledge, which really allows you to think in a more global perspective, and then CAS gets you involved in all sorts of activities that are not necessarily academic. I did a service trip over the summer where that was a complete independent thing from school, and I went to the Dominican Republic for 2 weeks, and I got to work with kids and other students across the globe to it was like a volunteer trip. So we did a lot of service work with children at school, and then also just helping the community. We did a lot of national park cleanups, and just getting involved in such things helped with that global experience. But on top of that, you could do different things. For example, I did a lot of cooking and baking and logged that, and that kind of showed me a different type of skill. So you've got like the leadership and collaboration aspect of CAS as well. And then we've also got like the independent exploration. We get a lot of opportunities to not only work with other students, but also outside of school. There's a lot of collaboration projects. For example, there's the Namibia project where students get to go to Namibia and they spend 2 weeks in the desert, and they get to work on themselves as well as helping a different community. I also think ACS gives you a lot of support in the sense of where you want to go in the future. So if you have a specific area of expertise that you want to develop upon, you can always go to a teacher, or there's definitely programs that they can like help you sign up for that like aid you in that process. For example, like summer programs at universities, or if there's a club outside of school that one of the teachers knows really well, they can help you get involved in that aspect as well. I've applied to the UK through UCAS to 2 different schools, and then also a bunch of different schools in Europe. So with Europe, you kind of have to do it individually with each university. Right. It's not through one specific like database. So that was a little bit tricky for me, but again, with the help of college counselors, I got a lot of help. For example, with the Netherlands, there's a different process to applying to Spain or France, for example. Right. But I do know some of my friends who apply through College Board. There's a lot of different essays that you have to write, and it becomes quite overwhelming. So they do try to help as much as they can and give you feedback. I'm going to go to IE Madrid to study a Bachelor of Business Administration, and then hopefully develop a niche in like luxury brand management and fashion marketing. So for me, I did varsity girls football for 2 years, and that was a really great experience. I think the amount of collaboration that was put into that team made it such an enjoyable experience for me. And then in terms of like after school clubs, there was anti-racism, refugee club, which are all student-led clubs, by the way. So it gives each student equal opportunity to engage, whether that be you're in 9th grade or 12th grade. So it gets a great mix of everything. And then also I was a part of a volunteer experience, which they kind of give you the opportunity to work with some of the younger kids at our school. That was a really great experience because there were 2 of us who were both seniors who got to go in for 45 minutes after school on a Monday, and we just got to like, give our input. So no matter where you are at the school, you can get involved at any level, whether that's working with the younger kids, the high school kids, the soccer team, or just like, refugee club, or where they take that outside of school as well. So they have, on certain days, they go to a center in Kingston where they get to interact with some of the refugees and, help support by raising money, food, or supplies. Honestly, coming from a day student perspective into boarding, I was quite nervous at first. I obviously know the campus really well, the students, the teachers, but boarding's a really different aspect for me. And once I actually got here, it was so much more enjoyable than I could ever imagine because of the student support that I got, as well as the staff. I think like once you're at the boarding house, it can tend to feel like an actual family. Like, you know, you'll see us all cooking in the kitchen upstairs at like 9:30, or we'll all be like watching TV or playing video games after study hall. So I think once you get accustomed to it and you put yourself out there and you're quite confident with it, it becomes a really enjoyable experience. I would say that if you were looking for a school that was quite dynamic, you know, collaborative, and that you could get involved into basically anything that you dreamt of, I would say ACS Cobham is a good choice, just because like there's an array of different things and there's something for everyone here, no matter what you're interested in, whether it's like drama, art, sports, STEM. There's a club where there's an avenue for you to express yourself in that sense. I think, again, once you're giving the opportunity, for me, like this year was a big step for me. I got to lead a whole fashion show, which was completely student-led, and there were 130 students involved, which I had to organize, take care of, and it took 6 months for me to plan that. But at the end of the day, that's how it would work in the real world, and it gave me that experience, and that's something that I can go on and use in university when it comes to it. So again, like if you put yourself out there and you go to speak to a teacher and you're like, I'm interested in this, how can I make this happen? There's a possibility that that dream can flourish in the future.